My name is Adriana Montano. I'm a senior at the journalism school. I study strategic communications. Was familiar with the program because my older sister actually participated in it. She was the last pre-COVID group, so she had nothing but amazing things to say, and I was always a little headstrong, like, no, I don't want to do the same one, and I'm not going to do that one. And then after looking into all the different programs, Prague just sounded so awesome and so cool. And it's not really the first place that people study abroad. I liked that it was a little bit of a culture that I didn't know anything about, honestly. And that just really appealed to me. And I was like, if I'm going to do something that's out of my comfort zone, might as well just jump right in. You go to the Czech Republic, you live in Prague, you make some of the best friends that you ever will have because you're together for a month. And not only are they your best friends and classmates, but they're going to be your coworkers. And you work on a real campaign for a real client. We had Kozel beer. And you pitch it and you have the best time of your life. Pretty much. You guys did such a great job of helping us, and teaching us about it. But I honestly just tried to learn a little bit of Czech, and when that did not work at all because it is so full of consonants, I I started reading a lot about the history of the country, which has had just the coolest, most rich history, and I'm such a nerd for that kind of thing. I just love politics and foreign affairs, public stuff. So that was just really cool to be entrenched in that in a way. And yeah, I am also just so into food that I was okay, what is Czech cuisine? Am I getting there? What am I eating? And once I saw what I was getting into, I was really excited, and I started finding restaurants in Prague that I wanted to go to, and going on all of these travel guides, and that got me really in the zone to go there and just explore the city. Czech food is so hearty. We would joke that we would go out to a restaurant and get our food, and we were all right, that's it for the day. We ate so much and we drank so much beer because it is the leader in beer consumption per capita in the entire world, which they really showed us. And I am not even a beer person at all, but it was just second nature. You are more likely to find beer than water, which fed greatly into our campaign. And we did so much research for the campaign on our own by going to any restaurant ever. Lots of dumplings, lots of goulash, more goulash. It's heavy, but it's so such a comfort food, and I'm looking for a good Czech restaurant here now, and I have not found anything. So if anyone has any Czech friends that have some great home cooking, I'm there. Yeah, I actually went to a cooking class in Prague. In this I went with my friend Ellen, who was on the program as well. And we walked into this random dude's basement, which obviously that sounds really scary, right? And we ended up making our own homemade bread dumplings, and the guy was so cool and so knowledgeable and teaching us all about Czech culture and Czech food and different European cultures, and we were just oh my god, we started this night thinking that we were probably gonna get murdered, and guess what? It's just this really cool Czech dude making dumplings in his basement, and it was an awesome night. I actually did not expect the internship to be so informative to my professional life, just building that professional confidence and interacting with people of a different culture and kind of seeing how they conduct themselves in a business, in an advertising agency, but in a professional way. It was really interesting because it's very different, but it's cool because it informs now how I act with that. The culture class was so cool, and I did not expect to be so into everything that was going on. I thought, I'd be doodling a little bit and I wasn't, like, I was, like, so, and I would raise my hand with everything because the professors that they brought in were just so knowledgeable and so passionate about, like, what was going on in their country, whether it was, you know, just social stuff or, like, political or, you know, we were actually there at such an interesting time in history because, like, this war in Ukraine was going on, and, like, you're so proximate to that. Obviously, it's a different country and it's totally a different situation, but, like, with everything going on in the world, like, I was honestly a little apprehensive because I was like, whoa, like, you know, it's kind of hard to go to a place that, like, is going through something like that because it's the same neck of the woods, you know, and they're Slavic and they kind of think of themselves as, like, brother countries, sister countries, like, they kind of all look out for each other in that part of the world, which is another really cool thing to see. We actually went to a Ukrainian refugee center and worked with those kids a little bit and talked to, like, this Russian dude that, like, built the center up, and, like, it's up and running, and it was, like, so cool. He didn't speak any English, but we had translation, and he was actually an ad exec in Russia and worked for like a McCann office, I think. Don't quote me on that. But he, like, did work for, like, Pepsi in Russia, or Coke in Russia. And, like, it was just really cool to see because, you know, like, you kind of just have that, like, moment of, like, everybody's exactly the same. So we did a presentation at the end, and it was so nerve-wracking, but, like, us going up there and having, like, that game plan and strategizing with each other as a team, we had such great, like, team chemistry with everybody, and, like, everybody was just so awesome. And, like, when we, like, organized that and got up, and I was lucky enough to do, like, the creative kind of, like, pitch of it, like, it was just really awesome. And, like, it gave me, like, oh, like, you can do that, like, you're gonna, like, be so fine out there, like, just, you know, working in advertising and just kind of, like, you know, taking everything that I learned in that program is just gonna, it's like that framework for me, and it'll definitely fuel me for a long time professionally. When we first got there, we actually we were in Prague for 3 or 4 days, very brief, like, just getting over that initial jet lag, and then we went to Barcelona for a week, which was awesome, and I loved it there so much. And, like, being able to just take a, like, 2-hour flight and you're in a totally different culture and totally different country, speaking different language, different looking people, like, that's a trip in and of itself because we're in such a big country here. But yeah, no, Barcelona was so great. We went to Barcelona, Budapest. We traveled around the Czech Republic a fair amount through the program. We went on little field trips, which were so fun. And then, yeah, we did what we needed to do for sure.